Skyzone.Society.
Yo, what's going on, my good peoples? You know what it is right now if you tuned in. You know what I mean? It's hopefully one of your favorite sports podcasts. You tap into the Zone Sports Podcast right now. You know what I mean? I go by your boy, Big V. You see my guy over there. He looking a little bit better from last week. What's going on, my guy?
Hey man, well, I appreciate it. Anything is better than last week. You have time to digest things in life, and you you just move on with life, man. You can't just keep letting it beat you over the face. So you just move on, man. But yo, COOL, what the hell, Corey? You know what I'm saying? We up in this thing, man. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other, and next thing you know, you don't walk the mile. Yeah. My energy is still the same. It's just, it just, if y'all want to know about the energy, check out last week's podcast. It's all in the beginning. We got you covered.
You know what I mean? Yo, before we even jump the pod off, you know what I mean? You already know who we sponsored by. If you don't, we sponsored by my brand, Skyzone.Society. Make sure you shopping at Skyzone.Society.bigcartel.com. You know what I mean? For all your hats, your candles, your tees, your jackets. You know what I mean? We just added the drinking glasses up there this week. Make sure you over there. You know what I mean? Pour you a glass of your favorite spirit and a Skyzone.Society glass. You know what I mean?
Word up.
And Corey, before we even jump this pod off, I wanna break some news on this podcast real quick.
Let's do it.
A few minutes before the pod started, this is some great breaking news. I want to give a big shout out to J.R. Smith real quick.
Just heard, yeah.
You know what I mean? The homie Adam Scheffner, like I know Adam Scheffner, but the homie Adam Scheffner just tweeted out the 35-year-old J.R. Smith is enrolling at North Carolina A&T State University to pursue a degree in liberal studies, and also is waiting on the NCAA and to sort out his eligibility so he can join the Aggies golf team.
Shout out.
Shout out to the boy, J.R. Smith. You know what I mean? Yo, man, let me tell y'all, man. If you wonder why me and the boy Corey are celebrating this, is because, not only do we want to see black men be successful in all endeavors of life, but me and Corey are two former Aggies. You know what I mean? He graduated. I didn't graduate. You know what I mean? I still went though. I'm still a fucking Aggie.
You in there?
I'm in there. You know what I mean? I did time there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, to see him go back at age 35 to get awesome. a degree, and it's inspiring to the people who may be thinking about going back and getting their degree and may be unsure.
Thinking it's too late.
Man, thinking it's too late. Thinking you have all kind of obstacles in your way, and that may be true also. And a lot of people think that money changes everything. Yo, listen, this man is a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean?
You don't need to go back.
This is something that he doesn't have to do. This is something that he wants to do. You know what I mean? Right. That needs to be said. This man is an NBA champion. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He don't have to do this 2 times.
That's right.
And let alone, he could have picked anywhere in the world to go to school.
There you go.
Been the fact that he picked an HBCU, our alma mater of such. Man, I had to start the show. I would have been dead wrong.
I'm glad you did
if I did not start this show off by giving a big shout out to the boy J.R. Smith.
Shout out to this guy.
Man, go get that piece of paper, homie. Go get that piece of paper, man. And listen. And I want to give a big fuck you to the people on Twitter real quick who were saying, yo, this is a waste of time. Yo, this degree that he's going for is a waste of time. Listen, no degree is a waste of time. What the fuck are you talking about, yo?
Yeah.
No degree, anything that cannot be taken away in your mind, like a degree. Keep in mind, you cannot take that away. You can break your leg on the basketball court. You can get injured. You can go from team to team. Contracts change all the time. A degree never changes. I mean, you can say, well, a lot of jobs don't require these degrees these days. It don't even matter. It's a goal of his. It's a goal. It is a certificate. It is a certification to his dedication of him being a certified NBA champion, multi-millionaire. Now he's going to an HBCU school Listen, I want to say it a little louder for the people in the back. He's
All
going
the
to
way in
an
the back.
HBCU school to get his liberal degree. Yo, big shout out to J.R. Smith, man.
Big shout out and real quick, because you see, I couldn't have said it any better. I don't really pay attention to Twitter, so I won't give those clowns any of my attention. What I will give attention to is the fact that he is going back for obviously a personal goal. You just said it. He doesn't have to do anything. I'm quite sure he got enough to retire on, and if not, he will eventually. And I think this doesn't really make the runs like it should, where you do in cases have athletes who maybe have made a promise to their parents or whatever, to say, hey, I'm going to get my degree if you let me come out early, or if you let me play football, whatever, right? And these guys, they come back and they make good on that promise, and it's just a little blip, if that. Real quick, and we'll start the show with Marvin Harrison, who played obviously for a few teams in the NBA, but most notably the Tar Heels. Where he went back and got his degree after leaving the Tar Heels and playing in the NBA. And they was like, well, why? He was like, it's just something I wanted to do. They was like, well, Marv, you don't need the money. You don't need a. Did I say Marvin? Marvin Williams, not Marvin Harrison.
I know you meant Marvin Williams. I knew you meant
Thank you, Marvin Williams. Excuse me, or whatnot. And he said it's just something I always wanted to do. Just something. It's just, he said, my mother always taught me, when you start something, to finish it, and the money wasn't a factor. He did it, and if I won't listen to a local sports talk radio show 5 years ago, I wouldn't even known about it. So that's cool.
I didn't even know about it now.
More.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Right, like But anyway, we can talk about that forever. But yeah, I mean, salute to J.R. Smith and any other the multi-millionaire, NFL, NBA, whatever. And they say, you know what, man? Forget all this madness, man. I'm going back and I'm getting that, as you would say, piece of paper.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? Let's keep it in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Speaking of paper.
Right. Well, first of all, bro, you know what I mean? Yo, how was your week, man? How was your week, bro? How was your week before we jump into it like that?
After picking my face up off the floor, you just have to realize that in life, just because you don't like something don't mean it's still not going to happen. You move forward, and it's just you try to make the best out of what we have here. I saw Russell Westbrook with the Lakers conference today, and he's already done changed his hair color. So hey, I don't know if it's a LA thing. I never seen him with the brownish blonde hair before, but you lovers are going to find a reason to let that slide as well. Look, man, if him having the Cisco hair make him hit threes from full court, he could paint it purple for all I give a damn, Big V. But you ask me how my week going. My week is going just like Russell Westbrook hair is going. It's changing. This is coming from a bald-headed guy under this cap. That's how my week's going. How's your week? Because see, you're getting me riled up again. I'm yelling again. I don't want to yell. I believe in peace and tranquility. I'm getting my zen on for a second. Russell Westbrook. Okay, all right. How you, man? Fuck. Shit.
Yeah, you got it, yo.
Come on, man.
Man, look, man, my week.
My shit sucks.
My week was great, man. I'm not gonna complain. You know what I mean? My daughter turned 19 on Saturday. Salute to my daughter,
man.
You know,
awesome.
What I mean? She turned 19 on Saturday, so
gosh.
She didn't come hang out with us on Saturday. She hung out with her friends. She's at that age, but she came to see us on Sunday. And I cooked. I cooked. One of her favorite dishes that she asked by request.
Yeah.
So, it was. It was a weekend of acceptance. I
wanted to ask you, as a non-parent to a parent, because real quick, and I promise not to get but so personal, but as a parent, how does that feel? Like, I know how we were when we were.
I'll share, baby.
I know, man, but it's family talk, and the thing is, like, I know that's your girl, man. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, what you mean you want to hang out with your friends? Your mom and dad is right here. Like, it's you said it best, acceptance, but it's kind of like it's like you know it's coming. Like she's blossoming from the baby girl to a grown woman, and it's just like, yo, what you mean? But I'm your parents. You don't hang out with us? No, I'm good. I did the same thing to my dad when I first went to college. I did the same
Yeah.
exact thing. I
I,
barely picked up
I
the phone and called him when I left for A&T.
and man, let me tell you, man, listen. Listen, as a parent, I would tell you, it hurt, man. It
Yeah,
hurt. It sucks. It
and
sucks,
no
man.
harm was, obviously, she ain't mean no harm, but it's
And
just,
well, we threw it out there. We threw the alley oop because we've been 19 before. Like you said,
yeah,
when you went off to college, you didn't even call your parent on your birthday or your mom or your dad. You know what I mean? You didn't call
yeah,
them. You know what I mean? You probably barely picked up the phone when they called you on
barely
your
picked it up.
birthday because you
Yeah,
were doing God knows what with God knows who. You
I'd
know what I
rather not even
mean?
say,
We
but
won't say because we're involved. We're involved.
yeah, yeah.
We're involved.
As Charlemagne would say, hashtag Black men don't cheat. That's where I'm at with that. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we weren't black. We weren't men then. We were black
Nah.
boys. So
There
we
you
were
go.
we were doing black boy things, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to be on the other end of that, Corey, it sucks. I got to tell
Oh
you,
my
man,
gosh.
it hurt. But we threw the alley out there. We said,
Yeah.
we said, look, you know, I hit her up. I said, my wife hit her up because me and her had a conversation. We said, you know
Yeah.
what? She's not gonna want to be with us on her exact birthday. Let's plan
Yeah.
something for the day after. So I said, look, let's throw it out there. I said, tell her she has the option. If she wants to come by, that's fine. If not, we understand. And she had already made plans to go out to dinner and not come see us. You know what I mean? But we
Gosh. Yeah.
but the prep game made
Yeah.
it better because
Okay. Respect.
it's just something you have to prep for these things, man, and not that it makes it hurt less
Yeah.
because it don't, but it gives you a
Yeah.
peace of mind. It makes you reflect on things and also make you regret a couple things, like maybe not, calling and having conversations with your mother and hanging out with her on your 19th birthday, or
Yeah.
but she
Yeah.
came by. She came by the day after,
Respect.
which was still dope. You know what I mean? We had dinner, and I can take that. I understand. I
I
understand.
think the good news is if she's even remotely like how we were, you always come back, right? Like you hit a time, especially during your 20s. And I'm definitely not saying this about her, I'm saying this about me, where coming into my 20s, you think you got a lot of shit figured out.
Yeah.
And then life, hits you with a curveball. And granted, yeah, kids may always need money from their parents from time to time, but I'll speak for myself. What I needed most from my parents was freaking advice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
needed advice about
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And you know what, Court? That's exactly where we're
You'll
at.
be back.
We're there with her. We're there with her
Yeah,
where she thinks she has it all figured out, and
that'll change.
we have to
But that's part of it, though.
we have to let it go. We have to let it go and let life teach her a few things. And and a lot of people don't know there aren't parents, and a lot of people that are parents know this. You're raising kids, but they're raising you too. You know what I mean?
You learn just as much, right? You learn
Absolutely.
just as much from them. Respect. Yeah,
So
that's how it's supposed to work.
yeah, man. So
Easy for me to say, but
that's how my week was, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I was ready to come in here today and get some pod in because a lot of
yeah.
things been going on in the sports world, man. You know what I mean? Especially in the NBA. You know what I mean? A lot of money been getting passed out. You know what I mean?
That's
You know,
that song. What's this chick, this rapper named Bia or something
yeah,
like that? A whole
yeah,
lot of money.
a
I'm
lot of
don't listen to a
money.
lot of new rap, but I remember that one. I'm like, whoo, it's a whole lot of money floating in the NBA, ain't it?
And guess who got some of that money? Your boy Kevin Durant got some of
My
that
guy,
money. You know what I
my guy.
mean? 4 year, $198 million extension with the Nets. You know what I mean? Corey,
Yeah,
4 year, $198 million, man. That's a lot of paper. You know what I mean? That
yeah.
leads me to believe that, this man might be thinking, staying here for the long run on some future. He might, I'm guessing he see a couple of championships in his vision if this group stays together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Corey, I want to ask you though, man. It's coming up season. You know what I mean? 2021, 2022, 2022 season, man.
yeah.
With him signing this major deal, man,
That's huge.
do you think the Nets are geared up to win the championship next year? Well, not let me not even say that. Let me not jump the gun. do you think that they're going to come out of the East next year, Corey? What are your thoughts after all this money getting tossed around, man?
I'm gonna give you 3 letters and a few characters.
What's that?
YESS exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Okay.
First of all, this move by Brooklyn locking them up in a 4-year, and I get it. Players could technically always force their way out. I don't think KD is going to do that unless it just goes south real quick. But it's big for Brooklyn to sign that. Another reason why it's good for Brooklyn to sign that is that 9 times out of 10, James Harden and Kyrie is going to follow. 9 times out of 10. Now, coming out of the East, hell yeah, I think they're coming out of the East. They damn near did it this year with just Kevin Durant. Like, you got they're already, according to NBA radio, they're already pushing for Irvin and Harden to do their extensions before the start of the season, right?
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Blake Griffin even read up for another year.
He did.
So the core group, which is those 3, is still intact, right? And the fact that they came within Kevin Durant's toe being too long on the 3-point line against Milwaukee, they almost came out the East this year with just him. These guys, when we first brought this up earlier, I was hesitant because of the Miami experience with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, where it's like, hey, even though they came out, we were speaking more so championship, but I still think the same thing at least is at least borderline parallel. And what I'm saying is that these guys got to get used to playing with one another, and they really didn't have a lot of that this year for whatever reason or another, between injuries, rotational lineup. It was very rare. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have over 20 games total playing with one another as the big 3. They had that, maybe 20, 25, give or take, whatever. So I think they've learned the errors of their ways, and I get it. I think most of it was injuries. Of why it ain't like they didn't want to do it, like they didn't assemble to say, hey, well, let's be part of Brooklyn, but hey, at the same time, let's not play with one another on the court. That's not, the injuries and stuff happens. The chances of that happening back to back, I will be shocked. If they just have, Kyrie, with the exception of Kyrie is the one you have to be really worried about. I think the thing to keep an eye on is James Harden and that hamstring, and see, hopefully that gets better, or whatnot. As far as Kevin Durant, that dude, I mean, what Achilles injury? What? That guy played just as well, if not even better, than he did before he went down with the injury in Golden State. I think in regards to the East, who could challenge him? Yeah, I mean, you got the confidence that Milwaukee has now, minus PJ Tucker. I can't say Miami in all confidence. With that, man, it's theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose in the East, man. Well, what say you?
I mean, just to add to something that you're saying too, something that you might have forgotten about too. I don't know if you got word that LaMarcus Aldridge isn't ruling out coming back.
I heard that.
You know what I mean? So that's something to look out. That's something to look out for too, on top of everything else.
That would be interesting. Who picks him up, because he basically had the same similar issue that Chris Bosh had. Was it the blood clot or was it the heart?
It was the heart issue.
Okay, so that's a little bit different than a blood clot. I mean, it's still serious, but
I'm thinking the Nets will pick him back up. I don't see why. I mean, that would be my assumption. I don't know if how the roster's gonna go, but I'm gonna tell you, man. When I was thinking about these topics to make, Corey, for this particular podcast, and I thought about this right here, and my mind immediately went to, hell yeah, they're gonna come out of the East, no doubt. But Corey, man, let me tell you, man.
Corey,
I want to disagree with you, man.
I'm stunned.
Corey, I'm glad you used the word stunned because I was stunned this year when they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. I was stunned. I was beyond stunned, actually. Let me tell you, man. Yo, and we can chalk it up to injuries and whatever, but let me tell you, man, it's something to be said about the Milwaukee Bucks coming out of the East with this particular core group of individuals, Corey. And,
Okay.
and let me tell you, man, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that the Nets are going to win the East. I think. Look, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go on record, and I'm gonna say the Bucks are going to win the East again.
That's the
And
only other team.
Corey, and people, I know people out there fans of everybody. You're fans of the Chicago Bulls. I know the Bulls. The Bulls fans have been crazy. They've been hitting my phone talking about all the recent acquirements, talking about they're going to make some resurgence back in the East.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
The East. They're not coming out the East. They're going to be better than what they are. They're not coming out the East.
No, and again, I'm saying this with the rumblings in mind that the Sixers are going to make a full run at Damian Lillard. I don't know if you've heard that this week. The Sixers are prepared to make a full run at Damian Lillard by any means necessary. Look, man, it's no secret. Ben Simmons is the fuck up out of there, bro. He's up out of there.
Oh, yeah.
He's up out of there.
Well, man. He's not even texting Embiid back. Nobody from the team. He's not even texting or calling them back. They've been trying to call him, and it's like he ain't even picking up the phone because it was rumored that the presser that Doc gave at the end of he didn't really feel like Ben didn't feel like he had his back to the fullest, which I could get, but it ain't their fault that you can't hit a free throw either. But that and Joel Embiid, the comments that was made after they lost. That was kind of what went over the edge.
Yeah, so it's no secret that he's been the fuck up out of here. But I'm saying that the Bucks are going to come out of the East with in the mind that the Sixers acquired Damian Lillard. Let me tell you, man. We talking about injuries, right? Okay, yeah. Pardon me. Brooklyn was banged up, right? I bet. Let's not act like the Bucks weren't banged up either. Let's not act like that. Let's not act like the Bucks were missing some key shooters. Yeah. Can we take time out to acknowledge that, man? The Bucks are missing some key shooters who they didn't get rid of yet. Keep that in mind. In mind. You want to talk healthy squads going against healthy squads, and they set in a potential 7-game series, bro? Let me tell you, I'm going to pick the Milwaukee Bucks over the Nets just based off what I saw without the shooters involved. Let me tell you. Brooklyn had some of their shooters and some of their key pieces, maybe 50%. Yes, you still had Harden at 50%. Kyrie might have been at 80, maybe 90%. Durant was at full on 95, 100%, right? Okay. They still lost. Milwaukee had key shooters out and managed to not only beat them, but beat every team that they thought we were going to, that we thought and the world thought they were going to lose to. It's something to be said without the shooters. Imagine them with that young Italian kid that be coming off the picks. You know what I mean? That be lighting shit up. I always forget his name, but it's something to be said about those shooters that they were missing. What? Yeah. We may be talking that most series that they went into maybe ending in 6 games. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know. But we talking both squads healthy? Nah, man. Nah. Look, I was a fool this year. I won't be a fool next year and pick against Milwaukee coming out of these. A full-blown healthy Milwaukee, I got them knocking off a full-blown Kevin Durant staffed Brooklyn Nets. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you. Go ahead.
Before you go, I say that with the mind because me personally, I haven't seen a team with less caliber stars win a chip like the Milwaukee Bucks have did since Kobe did it with the niggas like Ariza and them. I haven't. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Go back and look at that team that Kobe won. You know what I mean? That chip with that first chip when he without Shaq. We didn't know any of those guys, man. Those guys, those guys weren't full blown stars, man. You feel me? And I feel like that Bucks ship reminded me of that, man.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think you're spot on in regards of like, yeah, the injuries, like, this, that, and the third. And I think you're right. Like, I ain't got no beef with you on that. Here's where my beef comes from wholeheartedly, and I can't do it even though I know it's been done.
Okay.
Coach Budenholzer. I can't. I can't. I can't. I just, he looks like a Milwaukee deer stuck in headlights.
You still giving him shit even after the chip, man?
Listen, man. Let me tell you something. Mark my words. I'm not an NBA insider. I'm no Chris Broussard, or I'm not dropping any Woj bombs here. But here's what I would be willing to put everything that I love, own, and cherish dear to my heart on. That motherfucker's supposed to have been fired. He's supposed to have been fired.
We did have him fired. We had him fired.
We had him fired. And I think,
but be clear though, Corey, we had him fired if he didn't win the chip. We be clear.
That's right.
Be clear now.
Let me tell you something. Had they lost, and I get it, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I get it. I got it.
Yeah.
Budenholzer ain't supposed to be there. The Buddha man, the Buddha monster, okay? The Boo thing is supposed to be up out of there. He ain't supposed to be there. And I think the worst thing that happened to Milwaukee is that he's there. I was listening to him on NBA radio today, and they was giving him an interview. And he just sounds like he don't know what a basketball is. He don't know how the game of basketball works. He just looks lost. Like he looked like he'd rather be somewhere in the corner coked up. That's what he looks like. That's what he look, man. I'm yelling. I'm sorry. I don't trust. Let me tell you something. Here's what I feel, because it's going to be breaking news. It's going to be Brooklyn and Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's going to be a repeat. So sorry for the spoiler. I just think that, and obviously this is because, like you said, injuries. We shouldn't have to preface that. People should know, but just in case we don't, assuming health.
Yeah.
I just don't think that motherfucker got the daggone expertise or the know-how to adjust when daggone Kevin Durant is dropping napalm bombs, when you got damn James Harden hitting damn 48,000 feet three-point shooters, three-point shots, and you got daggone Kyrie Irving dancing around like he's Michael Jackson mixed with a side of Chris Brown, scoring and running to the basket and breaking niggas' ankles. I just don't think the Buddha monster, Coach Buddha, I don't think he'll have an answer for that. Talent-wise, yeah. Look, okay, I'm going to leave it at this. I think that if he lets one of his assistant coaches step in and coach doing this, I think it'll be fine. Then and only then, I think you'll be 100% correct. You trust that guy all you want, and I get it. He made us look like complete asses for the past couple of weeks. I get it, but it won't him. It was Giannis.
One will argue, that Budenholzer was coaching Giannis. One will argue with the coaching staff, Corey. I would retort that Buddha Monster is just so happens to be the head coach while Giannis was doing this by title only. Yeah, he was on the clock while Giannis did work. I agree. Yes, he was the head coach on the clock when Chris Middleton did work. Yes, it just so you could have plugged me in there doing that series, Big V. You could have plugged in your old boy. You could have plugged in me, and it would have been fine. Listen, man. Listen. I don't think the Buddha head know what he's doing. I think he's thinking about his next fix. That's what I think, Big V. His next fix? He made championship fix?
Nah. I watch a show, one of my favorite shows, and they're mostly reruns, called Drugs Inc. that come on National Geographic. I'm thinking about that. Y'all watch a few episodes of that. Y'all know exactly. A matter of fact, I think that's the name of the new title, Drugs Inc. The Fix. And it's going to be featuring the Buddha Monster, aka Coach Budenholzer, however the hell you say his last name. That's what. Look, okay. All right. You go around the head. Hey, yeah. I get it. He won Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something, man. I don't even know if he can afford it. Well, he's a multi-millionaire. He could do it. He needs to buy Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Holiday. And hell, I'm throwing Tucker in there. He need to buy all four of them cats, 3 Ferraris apiece in their driveway. Their kids need to be able to drive that daggone Ferrari by the time it goes down. Because, guys, they saved his ass.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. You know, the Milwaukee organization is obviously is betting on Budenholzer.
Yeah.
We could look. Let's just call him the God Buddha for short. You know what I mean? He's obviously. I know he's feeling like a god. You know what I mean? After that whole playoffs, you know what I mean? Everything that he went through with every team. You know what I mean? Let's just call him the God, because that's what he looked like, the God Buddha. So you know what I mean? I feel like, you know, the Milwaukee organization is also betting on him. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say that the God Buddha ain't betting on himself. But Corey, you know, we've seen sometimes when betting on yourself goes wrong, Corey.
Oh.
And you know, Corey, you know, as an independent, you know, hip hop artist and just an independent, you know, small business owner, period. You know, I preach, you know, betting on yourself. You know, I walked away from a job after 10 years to bet on myself. You know what I mean? And to make something of myself and to create all kind of stuff, such as the network that we're recording this podcast on today, and just little things of that nature, you know?
Yeah. Man.
But Corey, you know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, Corey, you know. If my job would have came to me and said, you know, Big V, here's 5 years, $84 million. Corey, I gotta say, I might would have been doing this thing on the side and not full time, and would have been working my job still. I think I would have said that, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you wonder where we're going with this, what are we talking about? We're talking about Dennis Schroeder, ladies and gentlemen. And I know, listen, I know the zoners out there, the podcast. I know what you're thinking. We just gave a little small praise to Schroeder last week on the podcast about betting on himself. But if you go back and if you remember, my partner over here, Corey, he laughed a little bit. He chuckled. He chuckled just a tiny bit. He chuckled when we balled up Dennis Schroeder, betting on himself and turning down 5 years, I think $84 million from the LA Lakers. He chuckled just a tad. You know, and again, when I was putting these, you know, this list together of topics to talk about on this podcast, Corey, and you know, I didn't have this on the list at first.
Yeah.
I put this on the list today, Corey, because I saw it today. And when I saw it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I went through mixed emotions. My first emotion, Corey, I laughed. I chuckled. As an LA Laker fan, I chuckled because, yo, you don't turn that our money. That's not what you do. When we offer you big bucks, you sign with us. We offer you $84 million, and you look Jenny Buss in the face, and guess what you said? You told her to fuck off. You don't want our money. You don't bleed blue. You don't bleed purple and gold. You don't want to play for our organization. You the fuck out of there. You feel like you deserve more. That's what you told Jenny Buss. You told Jenny Buss that you feel like you deserve more, Schroeder. That's what you told him.
That's what the man said.
That's what you told him. You told her that you wanted $115, $115 million, Corey. I think it was $115 million. Yeah. It was something like that. Boy, it was something crazy.
Ballpark.
It was something crazy, man. You know, so I chuckled a little bit. Like, you know, I'm like, I chuckled. But, you know, Corey, like I said, I went through mixed emotions, man. I chuckled, but I stopped laughing a couple hours later. You know, I laughed for a few hours.
Yeah.
A couple hours later, I stopped. Because, you know, Corey, again, you know, as a person who preaches the value of being independent, how you don't need these big companies necessarily, if you're willing to do the work yourself and willing to, you know, put yourself in position. It's not easy. You have to put yourself in position. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be consistent. You have to just have it in you. Everybody can't do what I do. Everybody can't do this independent thing. You know what I mean? And there's no knock on it. There's no knock. It's no knock. But you have to know what you can do. Corey, I sat back and I said, hold on. Let me not laugh. You know why, Corey? Because I'm about people betting on themselves. And let me tell you, from the outside looking in, people might be laughing. I was one to laugh first. But let me tell you, man, this is a smart move. This is a smart move. And I'm going to tell you why, Corey. When you are a caliber player like Schroeder was before he came to LA, and you were putting up those numbers and being great like Schroeder was before he came to LA. And I don't want to knock what he did in LA because he still had a stellar season. He averaged almost 15 points a game. He did he wasn't the Schroeder that we knew him to be in Atlanta. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
But it's something to be said when somebody looks Jeannie Buss in the face and says, nah. Because Corey, it may sound crazy, but we have to remember who Schroeder was before he came to LA. He was great, man. He had the potential of him being somebody that could have been crazy along Trae Young.
Yeah.
Man, listen. Schroeder showed he's one of those players like Victor Oladipo, who when they got it, man, you can't stop them. You can't stop them. Man, people can't stand in front of a healthy Victor Oladipo. People remember him for him being injured, but no, a lot of people can't stand in front of a healthy Victor Oladipo. You just cannot. You just cannot. If you know basketball, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Same thing. I feel like for Schroeder, a healthy Schroeder, man, what he was doing out there in Atlanta.
Yeah,
a lot of people couldn't stand in front of that. I'm sorry. No, even the time he spent in OKC, you could see it. You know what I mean? You could see it. You could see it. So when I thought about that deeply, man, and I get the news that he recently signed this contract for 1 year, $5.9 million with the Celtics after turning down 5-year, $84 million with us. I laughed initially, but let me tell you, man, I get it. Because you know what that tells me, Corey? That man is really about to work his ass off this offseason. And he's betting on himself again. Let me tell you, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the resurgence of what we saw down there in Atlanta from Schroeder. I'm not going to be surprised, dude. The work ethic is there. The talent is there. Yo, he's going to turn this $6 million into what he wanted to get from us. I'm going to go on record and say that, bro. It's not going to surprise me because he has it in him. He has it in him. He's not going to let this define him, and he's proven that when he goes over here and does this contract with the Celtics for a year. And keep in mind, Kemba Walker is no longer there. Kemba Walker is going to New York, right? He won't be in anybody's shadow. He's going to do what he has to do to get it done, man. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about him betting on himself once again, man? I know it sounds nuts, but just how do you feel about it?
I don't think what you said is nuts at all. I think what you're saying is the difference between you and I, actually, and it's no knock. It's just you're independent, you're an entrepreneur. I work for the man, right? And I think there's two trains of thought. Now, most people are in my shoes, where you're getting up, you're punching the clock every day, doing what you got to do, and then wait until you're able to retire and poof, hang out at the beach or hang out in front of Hardee's at 9:30 on a Wednesday. I think there's a few things with this. I do agree with the fact of he definitely bet on himself. And I think when you bet on yourself, you have to be ready for the opposite end if it doesn't work out for you. Now, a few things here. I think while betting on yourself, I think you also have to be self-aware. And that's tough, right? Because, well, what do you mean by that? Well, some people his words was that I'm shocked right? And a cat like me, I'm like, no, I could have told you. And I think it was a 4-year, not a 5 that we was offering him.
Okay.
And, and no, it's all good. And you know, and it's like, well, how in the hell is he shot? How does he not know that he is not good as he think that he is? Well, one could turn right around and argue if you don't have his attitude, he's not currently in the NBA. He's not lighting it up in Atlanta and OKC, and really, like you said, up into the playoffs, doing a hell of a job for the Lakers, right? So, you know, I went to sportnews.com and I looked at the free agency tracker and looked at the money that was out there. I'm going to exclude some of your like superstars, like your Kevin Durant's and, you know, your Lucas and all of them, because he's not them. He has to know that. So let's go through a few of these. Again, brought to you by sportingnews.com, the free agency tracker. You got Jarrett Allen, a.k.a. the Afro Man, who was with Brooklyn, who is now in Cleveland. 5, and I get it, not the same position. I know that. But still, a.k.a. Afro Man that went down to Cleveland from Brooklyn. 5 years, $100 million. We got Lonzo Ball. 4 years, $85 million contract with the Bulls. That's what we offered Schroeder. Let's keep going down here. Let's see. Will Barton, $32 million on a 2-year contract to go to Denver. Let's see what else we got here. I don't want to name out a whole bunch of names that half the people don't know. Our guy from K-Town, Reggie Bullock, 3-year, $30 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep. Salute. Yep. Reggie Bullock. Salute, baby.
Shout out to Kinston Zone right there. Again, Jimmy Butler, he's a superstar. We're not gonna count him. Alex Caruso, 4-year, $37 million. John Collins, with the re-up with the Atlanta Hawks, 5-year, $125 million contract. We got Zach Collins, 3 years, $22 million. We got Mike Conley, 3 years, $72.5 million contract. Let's see, and who else? Anyway, DeMar DeRozan, 3-year, $85 million contract with the Bulls. Spencer Dinwiddie, 3-year, $62 million contract with the Wizards. So forth and so forth. Here's where I'm getting at. If I'm Schroeder, I'm looking at it like, shit, man. I'm kind of better than I'm better than some of those guys. Maybe not all of them. I'm better than some of them.
Yeah.
Is E 110% wrong from betting on themselves? I'm going to say, well, let me correct that. You're never wrong to bet on yourself. Because that breeds confidence, and the type of confidence that you have, Schroeder, these athletes have, I don't have. I'm a conservative in that. I'm the guy that rather take a bird in the hand rather than 2 in the bush. You know, I'm that type of guy where it's kind of like, hey, well, yeah, I want to, but boy, if I lose this, then how is that going to work? I'm that thinker. I'm that scaredy cat. I'm that 9-to-5 guy. That's me, right? Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with what you're doing. So if I'm Schroeder, he shot his shot, but I think his lack of self-awareness is what led him to where he is now, good and bad. But what do you mean by that? Here's what I mean by it. He is wildly talented. Like some cats, like I quit laughing at like 10 o'clock this morning about it. I don't heard so much about it. Quit laughing. It quit being funny. And like you said, you went back and you start to think about it. And the thoughts are, he is wildly talented. He got mad skills. I would argue that he could probably start in half the league.
Yeah.
On their teams. Now, I think with him going to Boston, I don't know for certain. It's going to be interesting how this works. If he's going to start over Marcus Smart, I don't know. That's going to be up to whoever the new coach is out there. I don't know. I think his attitude is what got him to lose on betting on himself. What do you mean by that? I'm glad you asked, the zoners and Big V. Let's take a look. Let's hop in the cool C train and let's go ahead and rewind to the top of the season when he came with the Lakers.
Okay.
Now, this has been reported by NBA Today, Justin Germany. and Eddie Johnson on Sirius XM, that when Schroeder came into the Lakers organization, he wanted to start. I'm not coming off the bench. All right, cool. Well, not only did he say that, he said, I could make LeBron James better. Reportedly. Now, if I'm King James, and let's just say this is true. This is for the sake of argument, this is true. You can help me get better, or can you make my job easier? Because see, those are two totally different things right there. Now, can you make my job easier by you being out on the court, spacing, and being a threat from the three-pointer, or even the slash it that takes the load off of me and AD? Totally, I got it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but hey, who don't want to have their stuff easier? I'm sorry. You say whatever you want. The easier my day goes, the better I feel at 5 o'clock. But now, hold on now. You gonna make the king better?
Yeah.
How? What? Time out. Okay, let's bring it down. You are Big V, an entrepreneur. You are an independent rapper. So let's bring it down to our level. Now, I used to joke around freestyles and stuff like that. I'm not really that good. I'm okay. I was self-aware to know that me on the mic isn't really a career move. If I was in the group of three, I would be like, I would be the Migos. I would probably be the takeoff out of the group. All due respect to takeoff. Okay. I would be that guy. Yeah, I'm with these two other guys that's ripping it up. I'm just so happen to be part of the group, and I'm gonna milk it for what it's worth. Because damn it, if I was on my own, but again, salute the takeoff. So let's just say I'm Cool C. I roll up in your studio. You never mind the fact that you done got top stream albums by your metric of, hey man, I got my following, and then I roll up to you and I'm like, yo, Big V, I can make your job easier or I can make you better. What? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Big V, now keep in mind, you ain't heard me spit the first bar. I have not done a concert out of my bedroom, let alone out the places that you did. I've traveled nowhere. And if I rolled up onto you and be like, yo, Big V, yeah, your raps is cool, but man, you need to fuck with your boy. I can make you better. What would you say? Because I don't want to lead the witness. I'm just curious. I'm just curious what you would say.
I'll be a little thrown off and be like, what the hell going on? You know what I mean?
And that would be fair. That would be 100% fair. So that's what he did coming to the Lakers. All right, cool. We'll put up with the shit because you're talented and we need you. No question. He helped us out tremendously. And then along the way, you know, starts to hear rumors of he's not the easiest person to get along with. There's rumors that, wow, he's really just playing for the check. Not really sure if he's into this whole purple and gold and championship thing. So some question, is he here for the bag or is he here for the ship? Hey, or it could be both for all we know. Now, let's go ahead and fast forward to the playoffs, because you look at a guy like Reggie Jackson with the Clippers, who I forgot to mention earlier. He upped, I can't remember exactly what he got, but he got him a nice
he got some change.
He got some change. For his standards. This is definitely big payday. And you could argue that the Clippers don't even get to where they are without Reggie. Reggie Jackson was freaking phenomenal.
We talked about that on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's go ahead and bring it to the other guys that's in the Staples Center, known as the LA Lakers. Point guard extraordinaire, Dennis Schroeder. Well, what does he do? Hey, does okay. Let me get my memory cap, because I'm past 40. I can't remember too well. But here's what I do remember, Big V. This man had one night during a playoff game, mind you, first round, where he was in a game, I want to say maybe 23 to 26 minutes, and scored 0 points. Did that happen? Now, let's back up.
Okay.
Because I said the self-awareness part. This 4-year, $85 million contract was offered by the lovely, talented Jeannie Buss back in March. Okay, we get it. You don't want to take it then. You don't have to take it right now. But know that this offer is not going to be on the table forever. And he still had a chance to take it before the season was over with. He did not do it. Now, all right, that's cool. You don't want to take it. Bet on yourself because you got to take chances in life. You did, and it's working out for you. A lot of people bet on themselves. Football players do it when they sign the franchise contract. All that is a gamble on yourself to state that, hey, I'm taking a chance. I can mess around and blow my knee out. Career's over. I'm not getting the money. But, there was things leading up to this. For one, that given all the shenanigans, albeit allegedly, that happened, and Miss Buss still offered you a 4-year, $85 million. So if she offered you that, Rob Pelinka had to be in on it. Oh, whoa. But let's see. We all know King James is the de facto GM at almost every team that he went to. So if Jeannie Buss was okay with it, Rob Pelinka was okay with it, King James was okay with it, and maybe even Anthony Davis was okay with it, for that offer to even get out there on the table where all you have to do, sign. All right, cool. Well, you have a golden goose egg in a playoff game. All right. Hey, I can't do what you do. Respect. All right, fine. But then you're going to be on Instagram a few days after the loss, just acting so blase. Again, it ain't the talent. It's the attitude. Well, now I'm hearing Big V that, he's going to fire his agent. Well, you can if it helps.
Whoa. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I got to stop you there, Corey, because...
Go ahead, Big V. I know I laid a lot. Go ahead. Weigh in, brother.
It's just you telling me it's rumors he was going to fire his agent when you stopped, whenever you got done. I was getting ready to put some respect on his agent's name for being behind him and saying, yo, let's just take this now and we're going to get paid on the back end next year.
Yeah.
But now you telling me it's rumors that he's firing his agent.
It's rumors that he's going to want to fire his agent, right? Now, I'm like, well, I get it. That's one angle you could take if that's what you want to do. But if I'm Schroeder, you can look at the agent, rightfully so. But let's make sure that while you're looking at the agent and you may or may not fire him, let's just say for the sake of argument, you're going to fire him. You need to fire yourself, because the way I'm looking at it from a diehard Lakers fan as well as you are is that everybody is like, man, somebody need to talk to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that somebody hasn't already talked to him?
Yes.
Who's to say that LeBron James, some family member, or let me guess, the agent.
Right.
Now, you just heard that list that I rattled off. And if I'm rattling off that same exact list, I do this for a hobby. I do this podcast with you because it's fun, right? So if I could sit up here and look at that list that was provided by what I just read off, don't you think the agent has some sort of inside tracker to what the going rate of a player of your caliber? Forget the attitude for 3.5 seconds. Just your caliber is going for, right? Outside of super, because you're not a superstar. He is a good player, not great, good. Now, he had great seasons, but he is a good player. He's a teetering starter / role player, right? He's not, and what I mean by that, he's not a guy that you necessarily build your team around, but he is a piece that could get your team over the hump. He is a borderline starter, a borderline coming off the bench. He's that guy. So you mean to tell me, Big V, that I've seen And I get it. These are movies. So you got to kind of take some of this with a grain of salt. I seen Jerry Maguire before. I seen Jerry Maguire. And I seen how in that movie, agents, they operate. They hit you with a number. The athlete's like, no, I'm worth all this. Like, dude, hey, look, you do know that last year, man, your numbers wasn't bad, but it wasn't, So I don't think this is the agent's fault at all. This is me guessing, not knowing, definitely assuming. And so fast forward to today, where he posts on Instagram that he's with the Celtics, and he's posting number 17. Well, again, either the lack of self-awareness or the attitude, or both. Now, I'm not a Boston nut, so I don't follow everything about Boston Celtics. My wife is a Boston Celtics fan. It's a whole nother conversation for another podcast. But Big V, do you happen to know the number of a great, at least from to hear it from Boston, the number 17 of a Boston Celtic great? I don't expect for you to know, because I didn't know. I had to Google it.
It wasn't Reggie. It wasn't Reggie Lewis.
Nope.
I gotta say I don't know.
Good. Because I didn't know either. This gentleman name is John Havlicek, number 17. And when I heard that name, I'm like, yeah, that's still not ringing a bell. But hey, this was,
I've heard of him.
Big V, I've heard of him, but it was just like, it's not quite ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Well, Big V, let me read off what this man has done. You can't make this shit up. This is the number that Schroeder, I guess that's his number. I don't remember what his number was, but I'm assuming it's number 17. And I could guarantee you he was not paying any respect to John Havlicek. So now, keep in mind, he done pissed off the Lakers fan base by not re-signing with the whole Bird and Hand deal. All right, but I'm rambling. John Havlicek, number 17, Boston Celtics, born April the 8th, 1940. Small forward, 205 pounds, 6'5". Okay, that doesn't matter. Here's what does matter. He's an 8-time NBA champion, Big V. 8-time NBA champion. Oh, well, he was just on a team that just crusaded into the... No. Big V, this John Havlicek, he's a 13-time NBA All-Star, Big V. 13 times. Oh, but I'm not done, Big V. I'm not done. NBA Finals MVP back in 1974.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm not done, Big V. We got more. He was chosen to be one of the 50 greatest players on the NBA history team, whatever that means. But you thought I was done? No, I'm not done. There's more. This man, John Havlicek, number 17, has 26,395 career points. Oh, I'm not done. So comical. 3-time NBA All Defensive first team for the Boston Celtics. He was chosen the number 7 overall pick in the 1962 NBA draft. But I'm not done. The number 17 jersey was retired by the Boston Celtics. Big V, the zoners, ladies and freaking gentlemen. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't really consider myself to be the best at what I do in the IT game. I'm not. There's people that can make me look. There are people in the IT game at my own job that make me look like I don't even belong. That's how smart they are compared to where I'm at. But one thing that I do tend to smoke a whole bunch of people on is this, Big V. Preparation, awareness, and common sense.
Wow.
What do you mean by that? I'm going to tell you why. If I just got signed to the Boston Celtics or any team of note that has a historical presence, such as the Lakers or Boston Celtics, the first thing I'm checking on is my number. And assuming that his number is 17, you might want to find out if that number hasn't already been retired. The zoners, Big V, even though it pains for me to say this is the honest to goodness truth. Much as we love it, much as we hate it, Boston is freaking title town. And if you're going to one of these title town cities, you might just want to check before you start posting up on anything. But see, I can hear some zoners right now. Well, but he's young. I'm sick of hearing that because you got to learn somewhere. Because let me tell you something, Big V.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a sports guy, there's something called being the student of the game. There's something called YouTube. There's something called NBA TV that show classic games all the time. You're a rapper. More than just a rapper, but one of your main deals is a rapper / entrepreneur. And do we not do our homework on rappers?
Absolutely.
Like of the past?
Absolutely.
I mean, forget the future. You just want to make sure that we're not coming out dissing Eric B. and Rakim. Hell, I wouldn't even diss the damn Fat Boys or the Sugar Hill Gang.
No.
Right?
No.
Regardless of the rap style and how antiquated it may have been, I wouldn't come, if I was a rapper, I wouldn't fix my face and say anything bad about Busy B. And he was a party rapper.
Yeah.
Even if I agree or disagree, I would not those are cats that's in front of you. And when you step in somebody's house, you make sure you don't bring any dirt in.
Thanks.
But ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to wrap up because I could talk about this for another 45,000 hours. I don't know how you managed to alienate the Lakers fan base and the Boston fan base in the span of a couple of weeks. Big V, the floor is yours. I'm done with this guy. As you stated so eloquently, he is not on our team anymore, and he is not our problem. That's my stance on it. Bet on yourself. Be self-aware, dude.
Please, man. Man, listen. I'm right now. I am mind blown by the fact that, like, he did not do the knowledge on any of those things, such as checking on that jersey number when 17 obviously is such a prestigious thing within the Celtics organization. Like, I mean, from where I sit, the agent or whoever was advising you to say, hey, you know what? Let's keep betting on ourselves. Let's take this 1 year deal and we're gonna get it back. I think they were doing a good job. And I think that if you would have had that said person around, he would have told you, hey, you might want to check on that number, big dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or hey, have you heard of John Havlicek? Or whatever his name is? Have you heard of that guy? Look up in the Raptors, son. It might be up there. I don't know. Regardless, what a screw up, man.
Let me tell you something real quick, Big V. I play NBA 2K a few times a year, and I create a player, my own player of who I wish I could be as an athlete.
Right.
And one of the first things I do is when I'm checking jersey numbers, because you could pick your own number, I'm like, I'm kind of curious as to who had the Lakers jersey of my favorite number. My favorite number is 16. And Paul Gasol had that number. Mm-hmm. And it's something that don't stop me from using the number 16. It's just that I'm curious. The point I'm making, Big V, is when in a fucking video game, I'm checking jersey numbers to make sure that I'm not stepping on great. It's like, okay, first of all, Paul Gasol is great, but it's just a curiosity. But this is real life. Come on, man.
I agree, man. Come on, Schroeder, get it together, man. I mean,
get it together, dog.
We wish you the best of luck, and man, I'm gonna be following you as you keep betting on yourself, man. I hope you get the bag, man.
Fact.
You know who else? I'm glad that are gonna be getting the bag.
Yeah,
these college players, man. Let's talk about it, Corey.
I love it.
This coming up season, college athletes will be getting paid, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all have heard, but some of the college athletes are already inking major deals, Corey. You know what I mean? Major deals.
I love it.
Corey, I'm gonna let you rock, man. Tell the people how you feel about the college athletes. And I want to be clear. I don't think that it is just stopping at basketball and football. You know what I mean? I think this is involved for all athletes that are in sports in college. You can finally find a way to get you a check while you were in school
Yeah,
legally, not under the table.
that's
You
right.
know what I mean? You can deal with whoever you want to deal with on the side, whether you get a Instagram contract or swimming endorsement from a local company. You know what I mean? You can now make it work for you. Corey, what are your thoughts, man?
I love every last single thing about this. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what the full course ramifications are going to be down the
Right.
line,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that you should definitely be able to make money off of yourself, right?
Yeah.
We look at, there's some people who oppose it. I'm like, well, even though all races in America aren't treated properly, this is still America. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you don't have the right to make money when you aren't getting paid by the institution known as the NCAA that's not giving you money. Oh, well, they're getting a free education. Look, man, I can't eat a book when I'm in college,
Mm-hmm.
right? But some people will agree, oh, well, you get to use their facilities. Okay. And well, they get a stipend. Is that enough
Mm-hmm.
based off the amount of revenue that school brings in? Well, Corey, you can't. Well, you know what? Well, let's put it down because it's not Alabama. It's not LSU. I mean, what if North Carolina A&T did this? Hey, man, look, man, that ain't really my problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my problem because the argument would be semi-valid if you was to say that the schools are paying them. The schools are still not playing. They're still not paying these athletes. They're just allowed to monetize elsewhere. I'm gonna give you a case in point, Big V. My guy, and I hope he gets well soon. Tiger Eldrick Woods. Well, what about Tiger Woods? Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Big V, I'm glad you asked. Tiger Eldrick Woods, at the age of 19, participated in his first major. All right, Q. All right, let's go. Well, he enrolled at Stanford under a golf scholarship and kicking ass over there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, he had plans on graduating from college, but his career blew up so much. Guess what? He had to leave college after 2 years. Well, why did he have to leave? Well, because if he starts taking money or making money rather outside of college, that's a violation.
Mm-hmm.
And that will put the school under violation. There are numerous other athletes who really wanted to stay, and not really including basketball or football so much, but in other sports, your quote unquote non-revenue sports, where it's like, well, no, I want to get my degree, but you can't. Big V, I saw a documentary on this on ESPN a while back where this kicker, I want to say he was either Florida State, and he had a YouTube video up, similar to what you do with your brand here. YouTube video up, it gets killer views,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously YouTube pays you for the amount of
Yeah,
viewership once you cross a certain threshold.
I
I don't know
remember
how
that.
that works. You know that better than
Yeah,
I do.
I remember that.
The school found out about it, and they say, hey, man, look, man, you gotta take your page down. Well, what if I don't take my page down? But then we're revoking your scholarship. But you're not gonna pay me. Yeah, I know that. But per NCAA rules, you gotta take that shit down. He didn't take it down. He got kicked out of school, lost the scholarship over it. So people could say whatever they want. I love the fact that because first of all, cats are acting like this shit isn't going on anyway. Like they're acting like
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff wasn't going on under the table.
Mm-hmm.
They're acting like people, houses, cars, apartments aren't getting paid for these star athletes anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, this shit is happening. And if I'm a parent and a hot shot recruiter or the coach or Nick Saban is in my daggone living room and I'm sitting up here in poverty, even if I'm not in poverty, but let's just take it because, you know, I'm going to go here. it's majority black folks that are affected by poverty, where these guys maybe do want to go and fulfill that promise that we was talking about earlier to their parents. But it's like, man, look, my mom need rent now.
Mm-hmm.
She needs money now. That refrigerator is empty right now. That
Mm-hmm.
car sitting in the driveway broken down, that's broken down right now. What can you do for me right now?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. I'm looking at, and Nick Saban, he's had some snarky comments, but whatever. Oh, well, you know, I think his quarterback, I don't even know his name, getting paid a hefty bag of dough. And you could tell he don't like it, but I'm sorry, Mr. Nick Saban, you clocking 10, 12, 15 million a year. I don't really care what you like, because I guarantee you this, that quarterback of Alabama, he ain't gonna clock no 15. I can tell you that much right now. But what about the development of kids and this, that, and the third? Well, college parents, that's your job. That's your job to make sure that your kids are responsible when they get. And I get it. Easier said than done. I'm not a parent, so I always digress, right? But let me tell you something, man. When you start hearing and seeing the amount of money that these no-name bowl games make, forget the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, which I got a problem with that name. I need to kill that. Orange Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, and all that stuff.
Just the basic Liberty Tax Bowl.
Liberty Tax, the AutoZone Bowl, the Beef O'Brady Bowl, the damn Bad Boys Mower Bowl, the whatever you see near the end of December, clocking mad G's, dog. And I can't get none of that. But Corey, what, you don't understand? They're still getting a free education. Okay, all right, that's fine. But to me, turnabout's fair play, because let me tell you something, man. College is more so of a team deal from a fan standpoint, where they don't really look at it for individual players. They kind of ride with their team. I give you that. But let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I get it. You go, oh, but it's extreme. Okay, fine, whatever. Extreme or not extreme, that don't mean that these guys don't need to be compensated. You look at Timothy Tebow when he was in Florida. You look at Reggie Bush when he was with USC. Let's take it recent. You look at Zion Williamson when he was with Duke. You look at our guy, Tyler Hansbrough, when he was with North Carolina Tar Heels. You mean to tell me that these guys didn't put extra seats, extra people in these seats that normally wouldn't have been there? I mean, the amount of money and quote unquote free labor that these guys get, and the fact of they can't make money outside of that. I can't. You had Jim Tressel of Ohio State football had to resign because cats wanted to give some players free tattoos in exchange for signed autographs. Big V, signed autograph. They're not even getting money. They're getting free tattoos. Well, Corey, well, those aren't free. Okay, fine, whatever. These guys, this needed to happen. It needs to happen. It is only right. Last time I checked, this was America, and I never heard of. Look, when I was in college, I was able to work a side job. Well, Corey, you won't no athlete. No, but I was a student. Ain't nobody come telling me that, hey, well, you can't, you in college, dog, you can't work. But that's what we tell these athletes. Well, but they can't work because the way that the schedule is, they wouldn't be able to work anyway. Oh, well, okay, cool. Well, they could technically work, but man, shoot, we could allow them to work, but their schedule ain't gonna work, so they ain't gonna really be able to work. Wink, wink. Okay, fine. I don't want to hear nothing about no endorsements. Oh, and this is the last one real quick before I let you rock. Well, Corey, colleges from point A to point B, they're not necessarily equal. And that is breaking news. When have colleges ever been equal? They have not. Even when you weren't allowed to get paid via endorsements, YouTube, whatever, they have not. Alabama is still going to be Alabama. Clemson is still going to be Clemson. Duke is still going to be Duke. Tar Heels going to be USC. I could go on and on and on. So, but what does it do? Well, they'll be able to come and get more money in Texas than they would in Minnesota. I.e., the first point I just made. That shit wasn't already happening with these boosters. I rolled up, and I don't even remember if I told you this before. Me and a coworker of mine, we went to Florida a few years ago, to the swamp. And while we was walking to Ben Hill Griffin, man, we saw that as you walk closer, you start to see certain people in these parking spots, big ass tents set up, stuff like that. And I rolled up on the guy and I said, because we had to park, good Lord, like damn near 2 or 3 miles away just to get there, or whatever. And I said, man, I'm curious. I said, man, how are you able to pay park here? If you don't mind me, I said, I'm just curious. I'm not knocking. Oh, it's like, no, it's fine, young man. I don't mind. No, I'm a booster. And I said, okay. I said, if you don't mind me asking, this is me not judging. I said, man, how much do you pay to park this close to Ben Hill Griffin on game day? He said, I pay about $25,000. $25,000, Big V. So people are trying to act like boosters aren't sliding. And he did not say this. Now, the guy that I spoke with, I don't remember his name. I'm not saying that he did this, but we've always heard the alleged of boosters giving that handshake deal. Hey, great game, man. The point I'm making, Big V, and I'm done, is that this shit has been happening. It's just legal now. The same deal with the legalization of weed. People aren't going to stop smoking weed. Stop locking. It's parallels in this case. Nobody should not be locked up over possession of weed. I'm sorry. May be controversial. I really don't give a damn. Now, should you be locked up or catch a DUI while you're driving under the influence? Yep. But you mean to tell me if I'm at home and I got an ounce in my pocket, I go to jail or I get a misdemeanor because of that? Because I'm a college student who had a Travis Etienne from Clemson or Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. When I'm walking back to my room, a bus or whatever, and a booster hands me $500, we get put on probation for that? We get bold suspension for that? I'm done.
Corey. I want to start off by saying, just by quoting something that you said about, the people who say, oh, yeah, we're getting a free education and you're getting your books paid for. I want to address those people by saying a quote from the late, great DMX when he was in Belly. He looked Nas in the face in the car when they was in Intrepid. He said, Shorty can't eat no books, dog. No, Shorty can't eat no books. And let me tell you, as a dad who was raising a possible college athlete at one point, and my daughter, it's sad to me that my daughter could not make a living while she was in school, possibly if she were to play basketball. And not even that. And I hear the people, well, yeah, like you said, it conflicts with schedule. They ain't gonna have no time. There's the off season.
Yep.
There's the off season. You mean to tell me that my daughter cannot provide for herself and make money to buy essentials during the off season? The off season. And even if she wanted to work during the regular season, you mean to tell me that by now y'all don't have any campus jobs for student athletes by now in 2021? You mean to tell me y'all don't have anything? They can't work. They can't work in the cafeteria. They can't clean up the yard. They can't be part of the janitorial staff. They can't do anything. Anything. They can't outsource jobs and go maybe to like an Applebee's or something or anything. Nothing, right? Right. Got it. Can't even work for a call center. Got it. All right.
That interferes with their practice.
Got it. I know it does. But you know what? And I guess what the bottom line is, the NCAA has been afraid that it was going to interfere with the pockets. Cut the bullshit. Like, let's just stop it. You're not concerned about their scheduling. You don't give a fuck if these kids flunk out of school, man. You don't care. Because you know why? Y'all have a next man up mentality. You know why? One kid flunks out of college, guess what? Next man up. Somebody be back next year. We'll get a one and done. We'll get a one and done to replace said money that we lost. You know what I mean? Like, let me tell you, man. When Ben Simmons was in college and after his season ended, it was rumored that he just stopped going to class and just started working out. You know what? Yeah. I commended that shit. I commended the fuck out of that shit. You know why? Because, again, Schroeder can't eat no books, dog. And then guess what? I'm not knocking education. Because, please, education is important. I want to be clear. Education is important. We just salute to J.R. Smith on that. But listen, man, what's also important is making money. Corey, when me and you was in college, we both worked. I guarantee you had a job. I guarantee you had a job. Damn right, I had to. And man, let me tell you, man, what people aren't taking in consideration is this. All athletes are not getting the under the table money. And let's just say somebody like Zion Williamson is getting some under the table money. You still got to be careful with that shit because guess what? You don't want to end up allegedly like Cam Newton. And I'm going to leave that there. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Google Cam Newton and his daddy while in college at the University of Auburn. I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there, do the knowledge on that. But I'm so glad that these rules are in place because guess what? We don't have to worry about these Cam Newton / his father situations no more. Because what people as a father, people aren't taking the parents into consideration, man. Like, you still have to support your child, even though he may be a Zion Williamson. You still have to send money because that money ain't enough. That you're giving them just enough. Just enough. And what type of shit is it to me if I'm walking home from a Clemson game like Trevor Lawrence, and a booster wants to hand me $500? Let me tell you something, man. I should be able to take that $500 since I can't work for $500 and make my own $500. I should be able to take any free money I would like. I don't give a fuck, or I should be able to trade for it, like those guys who are trying to do those tattoos. Yes, tattoos aren't free, but guess what? This deal isn't free. We are working a trade, and correct me if I'm wrong. Trade and barter has been around since the Native Americans. Of time. Since the Native Americans. I don't want to say Indians because Indians. I'm hearing is offensive now. We're gonna go with Native Americans. This has been around since the Native American days, and if not before, this is the caveman days. I'm pretty sure the cavemen were trading and bartering, and they just didn't have a title for it. So cut it the fuck out. If I want to trade 200 autographs for me and my guys to get these tattoos, let me sit my ass down here and hand me a pen. Let me get to work. To work. Because guess what? I want these tats. And if this is what I want for my likeness and my value, let me do that. And I know I've given shit, and I'm going to still continue to give shit to Ed O'Bannon and Charles O'Bannon for fucking up the NCAA video games. Y'all fucked up a lot of shit. Y'all have caused tragedy with these games. But I'm not gonna act like your heart and mind weren't in the right place.
Fair enough.
Because granted, me as a video game head, I fucking hate you guys. I fucking hate you guys for even doing that bullshit. But from a father standpoint, and from also a guy who is rooted for, and also a former athlete as well, and a guy who is rooted for these players to get paid because everybody's getting paid but the athletes. I want to salute Ed O'Bannon and Charles O'Bannon for even taking the stance and having the right mind and right heart to say, this has to stop. This has to stop, man. We should be getting paid not only off video games, but everything else that y'all want to do. Y'all getting paid off our fucking jerseys that can't have our names on the back.
Can't have the name on the back.
Stop it. Like, come on. Like, if Nike wants to offer me some money for wearing this shoe, let me do that. You know what I mean? Let me politic that. They don't have shit to do with you. Because guess what? Y'all are getting paid from Nike. Guess what? You damn right. These logo, these jerseys got the Nike logo on. So guess what? Y'all are getting paid from that. Nike's getting paid from these sales because now we're walking advertisements for Nike. So why can't I myself take a check from Nike if the situation arises? I don't like it. I didn't like it, but I do like what is going on now. Salute to all the athletes that are getting a check from this shit, man. Make a way. I don't give a damn if it's through a car dealership. Get that money. I don't care if it's locally. get that bread, man. Get that
Yep.
bread. You know what I mean? Get all of it. Get all of it before you go pro. Oh, and guess what? This is even a great way for people that are not going pro to even put away a little nest egg. Get that money, man.
It's a real good point you made because with some of these, obviously, all of these college cats aren't going to pan out that gets paid. This may be their only chance to make big money.
Mm-hmm.
And and I get it. My wife's an educator, and stuff like that. But for anybody who's like, yeah, well, you can't replace the cost of a free education. Well, let's not. One thing I forgot to mention. Let's not forget about some of these schools that put people in paper classes where you have. I remember it was on that same documentary. I wish I remembered the name, where it's like this guy, he wanted to be a chemistry major, and school was like, coach, wink, wink, whatever, was like, oh, well, that class is doing our practice. Okay, well, cool. Can I get a tutor? Well, nah, it's too intensive, man. And so, long story short, the player had to end up changing this major if he wanted to stay on the team.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's why I'm like, get back this time.
It's time. It's time, man. Yo, man, we appreciate everybody for tapping in to the Zone Sports Podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, keep the listens up. You know what I mean? Whether you listen on SoundCloud or you listen on YouTube, you tapped into the Skyzone.Society network, man. We appreciate all y'all. You know what I mean? Corey, I appreciate you, man, for being part of the show as
Absolutely.
usual every week. You know what I mean? We're going to keep cranking them out. You know what I mean? We almost on episode 20. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
We
Love it.
might do something special on episode 20, man. You know what I mean? We might do
I'm
something
with it.
special. I don't know yet, but we're gonna keep y'all tapped in. You know what
All
I mean?
right. All right.
Corey, don't be hitting you up throughout the week, man, as usual, to talk about whatever's going on. You know what I mean? Keep your
Yeah.
eyes peeled for breaking news from all kind of sources, from the NBA to the NFL. You know what I mean? As we gear up for this NFL upcoming season,
It's coming.
you know it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? You know it's gonna
Yes,
be crazy.
sir.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Until then, Corey, you be safe, bro. Keep ducking
All
this
right.
COVID out here, man. You know
Back.
what I
Same to
mean?
you, my guy.
You already know it, bro. Peace, man.
All right. Peace.